welcome to the Questionnaires podcast, where each week we source the best questions from Yahoo Answers and attempt to provide the best advice from.
Why does K mean 1,000?
2.
Can I legally open a restaurant named 5-Star Restaurant?
We're here to prove that every question deserves an answer. Joined with me this week, as always, is Marcus.
Hello there, Tom.
And Damien.
Hello.
Do we want to make a boring observation and ask Marcus why it actually is K 1,000 because he's such a numbers man, or is Damien going to steal the limelight as the quizmaster?
I wasn't going to say anything, but when I saw Marcus had picked that question for the intro, I was going to be like, well, actually, but then I thought, do people
glasses.
on the podcast want to hear me explain why it's K?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm
pretty
that
sure it comes from.
Don't know.
From memory, I think it comes from the Greek for 1,000. So it's from the ancient Greek, and then it's just carried over into. Yeah.
What it really translates also to in modern day life is when someone drops a K in the chat, it's 1,000 daggers right into your heart. Because it's just K, you didn't even give me the O.
And what it also translates into is bad podcasting material. It's not very interesting to listen to. So we can move on from the K.
We get it out of the way at the start, though.
Right at the start. That's it.
Worst questions we bring are those first two, I must say.
Yeah. Always. 100%.
How's it going, boys? Are you doing well?
Look, I'm going to be honest. Look, we're recording this on a Saturday at 10 a.m. and I'm amongst friends here. I'm usually still in bed at this time on a Saturday. So if my response to every question that we get today is whatever, suck it, it's because they've interrupted my nap time. So just letting you guys know that now.
You can always drop a K if you want.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. His beauty
I'll drop
sleep
1,000
has
Ks.
been ruined.
Youch.
I was just going to say, it's funny because I used to be like that, 10:30, 11 still in bed, but I don't know what it is now. I can't wake up past 8:30. I don't have a kid. I don't have an excuse like Tom that says, hey, I'm going to wake you up at 6 a.m. every morning. I'm just me.
He doesn't even do that.
I wake up at 8.
I wake up before everyone in my house.
You're the baby in there.
I cry and then I get up.
So you don't have a little human alarm clock? Your sleep hasn't been interrupted?
No. I mean, I don't sleep super great anyway as it is. And I'm usually up at about my body wakes up at 6 and then I just lay there like a corpse just until I decide it's time to get up pretty much. Okay. But no, I don't. My body clock is all out of whack. I'm not looking forward to going back into on-site work because I feel like while I'm awake, I'm not my mind and my body are separate for a couple of hours.
Right.
Does that mean all right, so you wake up at 6. Do you have an alarm?
No, I don't have alarms. So when I do set alarms, sometimes I set an alarm just as as a precautionary thing. And when I was going into work, I'd sit there and I'd look at my phone or my and just wait for the alarm to almost go off, and then I'd it would go beep beep, and I'd stop it straight away and be like, there we go. I'm
oh my god, you're a serial killer.
It's pretty much it's pretty much that.
Is this a weird thing that I do then? Because my girlfriend begs me about this all the time. I will set, let's say I have to be up by 7:30, right? The latest.
Yep.
I will set 7 o'clock, 7:02, 7:05, 7:07, 7:10. I'll have 10 alarms, and I'll just turn them all off until I absolutely have to get up.
Yeah, you're a monster. You're the serial killer.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Does your partner need to wake up at any of those times, or is she up before you?
Well, there are times I have to get up before her, which means she has to put up with me turning off 50 alarms.
That's why you're the serial killer.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right.
I try and wake up before, not try and wake up before but if I'm up, I usually wait until the alarm goes off because turning off the alarm and then turning it back on again is a pain in the ass. So I just wait for it to go off, then turn it off real quick, and I'm out of the bedroom, so I don't need to bug my partner. Damien's just no, for the next half hour, be prepared to hear.
I'm going to kill her with marimba.
Excuse me, everybody knows my alarm is I'm horny. That just goes off straight away in the morning. It's the best way to start the day.
I like to think that you got 10 alarms, so it's I'm horny, and then you turn it off, and then it progressively gets less and less. So it's I'm off.
Yeah, it's just
right.
I'm asleep.
Right. You should have the Kids Bop version, which is good morning, 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 morning. They just changed the lyrics.
That's really, I love those. You know what's weird about those Kids Bop versions? I don't know if people have heard them. They're essentially just like kids covering modern pop songs, right? I found one on Spotify of them covering Hot in Here. It's really weird because, yes, by Nelly, they don't change the lyrics enough. So it's like when I listen to it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm on a list now and I'm going to jail because I felt like I committed a crime.
Like they changed all the lyrics except I'm getting so hot, I'm going to take my clothes off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Kids Bop, do better.
I was actually talking to a friend about this recently as well because his family's quite musical. So at every like family party, everybody would kind of jump on instruments and play songs and stuff. And him and his cousins wanted to play "Give Me Novocaine" by Green Day. Oh, yeah. And they played it right, but the adults were like, "You can only play this song if you change Novocaine to Candy Cane." Like that's the one stipulation. So they had to make like a Christmas Green Day version, basically, which is kind of funny.
Wow, that's the Christmas
really
album that Green Day never made. I'm sure they'll jump back onto it now, unless they're making plenty of bank from. Unless he's making plenty of bank from Cameo and Twitch streaming like all the other celebs are doing right now in COVID. So
yeah,
absolutely.
That's enough about that. Let's jump into what the show's all about, which is answering questions from the website Yahoo Answers. It's what we do each and every week. We find questions from the website, provide them advice to these people as if they're actually, really listening. We like to think they are, and help them on their way. That's how the show works. The other thing we do is we choose a theme each week to name the question asker, and it's my theme this week. And I thought we could name our question askers after a chore that you don't mind doing. It could be anything around inside or outside the house. What's a chore that you're just like, you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind doing that. It's not as much of a chore.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, my chore or choice. I actually really like washing the dishes.
Do you bank the dishes up and then wash them all at once, or are you a clean as you go sort of guy? You did work at McDonald's, and clean as you go is like a mantra there.
Clean as you go. I don't bank. I don't let it all stew. Like, if you're cooking some pots and pans and like ones no longer need to be used, and you've got free time, you got like 5 minutes to do nothing. You clean those pans. If
there's time to lean, there's time to clean, which is also a McDonald's.
I was about to say, did you ever cop that from Mr. McDonald himself?
Yeah. If there's time to lean,
crack the whip.
In fact, Tom used to crack that whip on me. Marcus, if there's time to lean, it's time to clean.
Is that true?
Hey, Tom.
No, I did not. But the thing about McDonald's was the benches were heated, so you couldn't lean on the benches without burning your arms.
So if there's time to lean, you've got second-degree burns.
Yeah. I wanted to I've actually never asked this to you guys. We've covered you guys working at Macca's extensively, but who was the more senior member? Like, Tom, could you tell Marcus what to do? Is that something you're allowed to do?
Yeah, look, that was the time when the hierarchy, I was above Marcus. I don't know how it would be now, but that's more or less me trying to craft him into a beautiful work ethic that I had and get the respect that I had also amongst the other crew members. I wanted Marcus to basically be my Padawan.
Mini Tom.
Yeah,
Mini Tom.
Because he was a lost cause when he walked into the store, wasn't he? Like, he needed a lot of help.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, he one time didn't put the fish in a fillet of fish, and I mean, it's in the name, so that reflected bad on me.
Just had the fillet that's it. That's all he had.
The best part is about that story. The best part is about that story is the manager was serving it and she comes back to me. She goes, Marcus, there's no fish in the fillet of fish. I looked at her and just started laughing. And she's looking at me. Then the face goes, it's not funny. I'm like, yeah, it is. And I made it
yourself.
anyway.
She's like, wait until Ronald hears about this. I like you fixing the solution, Marcus, by like grabbing the box and just crossing out fish on it and handing it back to the customer. It's like, there you go. It's just a fillet now.
I see no issue here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, I like dishwashing mainly because of Macca's. That's exactly why I love it. I find
That's where I
soothing.
put Marcus, I put him in the washroom straight away. I'm like, just wash these dishes.
Yeah, Tom trained me, and then I realized Tom didn't like the washroom because he doesn't like getting wet. Me, I'm a wet boy. Anyway, dishwashing, right? It's in. Bartender kicked us out of a bar. My boyfriend and I were at a bar and ordered about 5 drinks each. I tipped once and was planning on giving the bartender a big tip at the end, but he didn't know that. So after about our 5th drink we ordered, he asked us, is there something wrong with my drinks? Because I've only been tipped once. So I tried to explain to him that I tip at the end. So he was like, whatever. And so we ordered our last drink and my boyfriend used my debit card. But it didn't accept the $15 tip for some reason. And before my boyfriend could tip him cash, the bartender saw there was no tip on the receipt and said, I'm going to ask you to get the fuck out of my bar. So he picked up our drinks, went somewhere else in the bar. Is that right, what he did to kick us out of the bar? I was going to give him a tip at the end until he said that. Dishwashing.
Okay.
There's lots to unpack here.
Yeah, well, look, the interesting thing is that tipping is about service, right? And I mean, if you were to then, give a tip at the end of the service when the service was done, I think that's reasonable. And if that encounter happened before the end of the service, I mean, that's grounds for you to be like, well, you know what? Like, that's going to affect your tip, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But them's the rules.
Being in Australia and tipping not really being a thing, are there times or scenarios where you guys feel inclined to tip, or for the most part, do you think there's never a scenario where it warrants it?
I'll have to say that in the instances where I go to restaurants where tipping is sort of pushed upon you, it's generally a more expensive restaurant. So if anything, the restaurants that do want tips, I'm like, no, dude. Like, I paid that was $40 for some kingfish sashimi. I'm not going to pay you more money on top of that small serving size.
The most I've ever really tipped somebody. Well, look, I have given some tips from time to time. I agree with Tom. The most time you ever get pushed on it's the expensive ones, and I'm always like, nope, because I've already spent enough money here. But it's more of a case I go to I don't know, Macca's, and it's like a $9.50 thing. And I'm like, I don't want the 50-cent coin. Like, not Macca's because they don't accept tips, but those sort of cafes or something like that where it's it's $1 to $2. I don't really want the coins. And I'm sure if you guys all tip this all together, you guys will eventually at the end of the day shift hopefully get $30 to split between through all of you, or $50, whatever it might be. That's my take on tipping.
I like that Marcus brought up Macca's because it'd be like, I can imagine him being like, you remembered the fish in my filet of fish. Here's 50 cents. Good job for doing that.
You've got a future here, boy.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, and Tom, you hit on it, a lot of the time it's the more expensive restaurants that are asking for tips. And call me cynical, but I feel like whenever the tipping option comes up on an FPOS machine, I always think, the employees even seeing this money? How do they even know? Because it's digitally going straight into an account. Yeah. And there have been restaurants that I've gone to where, good service, blah, 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 and I might have tipped, and then it comes out later they were underpaying their staff or not paying them at all. And it's like, whoa, they definitely didn't get my tip. That went straight into the owner's bank account, and that was never seen again.
Like if you were to think back to going to a certain Greek food franchise in Melbourne, and then
no idea what you're talking about, Tom. No idea.
That's why when they handed the FPOS machine over, they mouthed, "Save me, help me." When they were asking for the tip, they mouthed the words "please" because they weren't being paid.
It actually says on the FPOS machine, "Save me, yes or no," and you just make eye contact with them and hit no.
That SOS that's what they're pressing on the FPOS machine. I liked what my uncle used to do with tipping anyway. If he had cash on him or whatever it was, he'd talk to the waiter, goes, now if I give this tip as a $20 bill or $10 bill, whatever it was, do you see it? Do you receive it? And the waiter's like, yeah, I can put it in my pocket right now. He goes, all right, here, put it in your pocket. I want you to receive the tip, not everybody else. That's I like that way of tipping. Do you get it? I want to see it in your pocket. And let's be that.
Is there an instance, I know tipping's not obviously required, but is there an instance where you would do something like that if you knew it would get you a better service? Let's say it's more like bribing, I guess. Is there a situation where you would do that? I'm not talking about illegal bribing. I'm just saying hey, take care of us, make sure you get us a table here. Or...
Yeah, you're greasing the wheels a bit, right?
Yeah, greasing the wheels.
I had my brother's friend when I used to go with my brothers and all that to a bar, because I think the reality is, in my experience anyway, if there's a dude bartender, he's usually serving the women over me first anyway, right? Yeah, even if I doll myself up and make myself look real nice, it's never nice enough for the bartender. But
I'm never the prettiest boy in the bar.
I'm never the belle of the ball, and that's the problem. But anyway, it's a separate issue. Let's move on. My brother's friend, as soon as he got to the bar, he would be like, hey, man, you're my bartender for the night. Here's $20. Just look after me. That's all I'm asking. And then for the rest of the night, he will just basically get bottle service in quotes in that like whenever the bartender saw him, he was like a moth to a light. He'd go straight for him and he'd be like, here's an extra $5 to keep things going, that type of thing. It's a more expensive night, but he was getting good service.
But you know what? I think that's a fair enough thing, because what is he getting? The bartender's gotten a financial payout from this. It'd be like, all right, cool. This guy is actually, he's not being a jerk to me. He's giving me a little bit of extra money, so I'm going to give him a bit of extra service. You know, what is the reason for me to go and serve anybody else? Like I can, these girls might just sort of, bat their eyelids at me, but, that's all I'm really sort of getting out of it. I want the $20.
You can't put that in a bank. Batted eyelids, you can't put that into a bank account.
Maybe a spank bank, but that's about it.
Like you said, Damien, because he's already given the $20 at the start, he might be inclined to give you more money as he goes. He's already money banks. He's already shown, hey, I got the money. I can pay you.